are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom now, erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. In timeless moments in the silence, I discover myself anew. I relax and let go, withdrawing my attention from my surroundings. Breathing deeply and rhythmically, my mind relaxes and my heart opens. I enter my sacred inner sanctuary. Here I have no awareness of time. I hear no words, I think no thoughts. I feel no separation. There is only the richness of silence, the awesome presence of infinite life, love, and wisdom. I am one with this presence. The time and attention I devote to my regular practice of meditation builds deep, abiding peace and clarity in my consciousness. In these timeless moments, I discover I have all I need. Enough strength, understanding, love, and time to progress along my path and accomplish all that is mine to do. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Revelation 21:1.
Makes you forgive and forget. If you knew that you would find the truth that brings the pain that can't be soothed, would you change? Would you change? How bad, how good does it need to get? How many losses, how much regret? What chain reaction, what cause and effect makes you turn around, makes you try to explain, makes you forgive and forget, makes you change, makes you change. Are you so bright you can't be bent if it comes to blows? Are you so sure you won't be crawling if not for the virus falling, virus falling? Everything you think you know makes your life unbearable. Would you change? Would you change? If you've broken every rule and vow, and hard times come to bring you down, would you change? Would you change? If you knew that you would die today, if you saw the face of God and love, would you change? Would you change? If you saw the face of God and love, if you saw the face of God and love, would you change? Would you change?
Thank you, Julie. And what a good question to ask ourselves, isn't it? Would you change? Oh. If I don't have everything done for me, I forget. I need a keeper. That's why I have my Mikey. And a few other friends. That, like I said, it's a good question to ask yourself. What does it take? I mean, there are so many people walking around there that they're not happy with their lives. They're not happy with their relationships, their job, themselves. Yet, how bad does it have to get before you're willing to make a change? And I don't know about you, but I'm guessing that there's at least a couple of you out there that are somewhat like me, and you stumbled into a Unity church because you knew something needed to change. And I tried a lot of different places first. I tried a lot of different churches. I read books. I went to seminars. I did all kinds of stuff. And this is before the internet, so I had to pay for most of that stuff. And I didn't have any money. But, you know, there's something about the energy in this place, and places like this. Because there's an energy here that says, number one, you're okay right the way you are. And so many people don't believe that. If you knew. No, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is who we really are. And I'd like to start by reminding us who we really are. We have what we call our statement of being. And there's one line in this third from the last line that I want you to put the most emphasis on and realize how important, how significant that one line is to you and to your life. So together, let's repeat our statement of being. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. It doesn't read as the third from the last line up on the screen, but the line I'm emphasized, that hopefully recognize and emphasize, is the line that says to you, I am an individualized expression of God. Because that's who you truly are. Each one of us, not just a part of us, but all of us. And I think it's very interesting that the daily word for today is a meditation in and of itself. I mean, it starts off by saying, in timeless moments of silence, I discover myself anew. So let's use those words. Let's settle ourselves. Put your feet flat on the floor. You can relax your hands in your lap or fold them, whatever you choose. You may close your eyes or just focus them dimly on an inanimate object. So take a couple of deep breaths. In this in this moment of silence, we discover ourselves anew. We relax and let go, withdrawing our attention from our surroundings, focusing only on our breath. We breathe deeply and rhythmically. We allow our minds to clear. Just noticing, and then releasing. Releasing the endless chatter, the endless noise going on in our busy, busy minds. And once we reach the quiet of our hearts, we open. We open that inner sanctuary where there is no awareness of time. And in the richness of silence, we experience a deep feeling of connection. And that's what we're going for. That connection, that oneness, that presence and power, that energy that lives, that made the universe, that is the universe. It's the air we breathe. It's what beats our hearts. And that energy is always present and has always been present. It is infinite. It is life. It is love. It is strength. It is wisdom. And when we find that connection, we can literally feel a sense of light, lightness, of love, filling our bodies, filling our minds, filling our hearts. And when we feel this energy, we feel the love and presence of that one power. It is always available to us. Whatever we need, all we need to do is ask. And even before we ask, it is given. So let's just sit for a few moments in this precious, precious silence and truly feel our connection with the one presence and power. We're so grateful for knowing that we are each an individualized, unique expression of the one presence and power that is God, by whatever name we might choose to call this energy. It is the one presence and power in the universe. All religions recognize it, and all people do too, at their very core, whether they choose to acknowledge it or not. It is the one thing we all have in common without question. And we are so grateful for knowing our oneness with this presence and power and with each other. And in recognition of this, we say and sing together our congregational response. Well, we are about halfway through the Lenten season. And Lent, the message of Lent is to, the unity message of Lent at least, is to let go, release that which no longer serves us. And because nature abhors a vacuum, there is no such thing as empty space in nature. It just doesn't exist. So once we release something that no longer serves us, if we don't choose something better to fill it, something will fill it, but we get to choose. We get to choose. And so, now that we're halfway through Lent, and we've been, hopefully, most of us, have been reading our Let Go, Let Go, Let Go, Let God Lenten booklets. We give these out every year. If you return to Unity East at the beginning of Lent, or just before Lent, we give away these booklets. And we'd love to have you back with us and enjoy that. In fact, if you come back at Christmas time, you get our Advent booklet. So we have, and there's free booklets out there in the book corner as well. But what I really love about the Lenten booklet is it gives us so many concrete suggestions about what we could, some people think of, I don't need to let go of anything. I'm pretty good. I'm in pretty good shape, I think. And then you start reading this, and this, I let go of indecision. Anybody ever been indecisive? Just a bit, now and then. I let go of worry. Never worried about a thing, right? I let go of perfectionism. I know a few people like that. Thank goodness I'm not a perfectionist. I wish it was, I'd like it to be better, but I don't want to do it. So anyway, but a couple years ago, our licensed GED teacher, which we're so blessed to have, Linda Ridley, if you have not had the opportunity to see the area that Linda put together, I don't know how long ago she originally put it together, but there's a table out there that has all kinds of these little photographs, I guess you'd call them. Sayings, thank you. And a couple years ago, she put this out, and I kept it, and except I couldn't find it. But I looked it up on the internet, and I had her print up some more. So at the end of the service today, we'll probably have, if you're interested, I had Linda print up a whole bunch of these so that you can take them with you, because this is supposedly from Pope Francis. And it says, do you want to, well, basically the question, I think, should say, what do you want to fast from this Lent? And it says, do you want to fast from hurting words? Then say kind words. Because you can't just cut something out. You have to have something to take its place. How about fasting from sadness and instead being filled with gratitude? Do you know that when we are grateful, what we bring to ourselves? More for which to be grateful. Yes. And if we think about sadness, the same is true. Fast from anger and instead be filled with patience. Boy, is that that was my nemesis for a long time. I used to have this little, I thought it was so cute at the time. God grant me patience and I want it now. But do you know what that gets you? I learned it gets you opportunities to practice patience. So if you thought things were going cattywampus before, whoa, keep at maybe that little cute statement a few times and see where it gets you. I don't suggest it. Been there, done that, didn't work out too well. But you know what happens? What happens is when we screw up, when we forget who we truly are, when we forget how powerful our words are, when we forget how powerful our thoughts and feelings are, and then we allow ourselves to say things and do things and behave in ways that, if we were truly thinking about it, if we were truly acting and being the person we are at our core, that individualized expression of oneness, we wouldn't be saying, doing, or even thinking those things. But we forget because, yes, we are individualized expressions, and we're in these human forms at this point in time. And as long as we are in these human forms, we are in duality. So we get to practice as spiritual as we can while we still remain in these human forms. So the other thing that I thought of when I was thinking about fasting for Lent was, January 1st wasn't that long ago, was it? I mean, it seemed like it was right around the corner. Anybody made a resolution or two? Anybody that made a resolution, keep it? That's the question. It's not the intention, it's the commitment. It's the commitment to keep going. Because, there is another old saying, which I think is pretty good, that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Because that's what we have to do. Because being a follower of unity principles and practices doesn't mean that the going never gets tough. It just means that we have tools in our toolbox now that we didn't have before. We have tools that remind us that when we're starting to get angry, that we can make a different choice. We learn to practice the principles. Just like a basketball player or a football player or a soccer player or any kind of athlete practices their sport, we practice our unity principles. Why? Because every single day of my life that I put these principles into practice is better. It's better. Even when the crummy stuff happens, I can get through the crummy stuff better. I mean, I'm going through some stuff now, which is not the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life, but I have also been given the opportunity to take this health challenge and learn so much from it. I have been, another thing that we do at the beginning of the year is we have what we call White Stone Sunday. And on White Stone Sunday, we ask Spirit to give us a word or a short phrase to help us, give us focus for the new year. And this year, the word that came to me was open. And I didn't really, at first, understand why that word, because I thought, well, I'm, pretty open already. I'm not a very secretive person. I mean, I can keep a secret if I keep secrets, but I don't keep secrets about me. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And so, when I heard the word open, I thought, what's that all about? And then I went about my, time went on and the year continued and the stone sits on my desk where I live at my desk pretty much. And I see that word and I realized that this experience has broken me more open than I've ever been in my life. Because when you are that vulnerable, when your life is that vulnerable, you can either crumble up in a little ball and go hide, or you can allow that significant change, significant opportunity. I mean, I went from calling them problems to challenges to opportunities. And sometimes it's really hard to call it an opportunity, because it don't feel like it ain't a fun opportunity, that's for darn sure. But the opportunity that this has given me is to really dig even deeper. Because, and I think this has happened to more than just me, and more than, not just in a situation where you've been given some sort of a dire diagnosis or something, but there are times when we realize there's something going on, and I haven't figured it out yet. But if I don't figure it out, it's like having that itch right between your shoulder blades that you can't reach this way or this way, because I can't. And unless you've got a really good back scratcher handy all the time, it'll drive you nuts. So you've realized that there's something that you haven't gotten to. It's there. You may not even be sure what it is, but you know it's there. And once you know it's there, you have to keep searching. And that's where the meditation comes in. You know, I think last week I was saying that I didn't meditate for a long time. I tried. Don't you love that word? I tried. But I wasn't very good at it. So of course, if I'm not good at something, I don't want to do it. No. Me, perfectionist? Who would ever think that? But I took a class, one of the first classes I took when I started ministerial schools a number of years ago. And one of the first classes I took was a meditation class, because I wanted to get better at it. I knew it was important, but I just never could quite figure it out. So when I saw that class available, that's one of the first ones I signed up for. And I found myself wiggling, twitching, and, just falling asleep. Falling asleep ain't all bad. But what I learned in the meditation class is there's no wrong way to do it. And after a while, just whatever you're doing, as long as you're sitting quietly and asking for a connection to that presence and power that lives in, through, as you, all around you, always has been, that's all you gotta do. And just keep doing it. And for me, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen really quick. It didn't really happen during that 10-week class, to be perfectly honest. But I kept doing it because I was convinced at that point that meditation was some sort of a key, some sort of an important tool that I really hadn't fully grasped yet. So I kept practicing and practicing and practicing. And the more I practiced, the more I kept getting these little, I don't know, almost like a buzz. And it would, at first it would be like almost like a little flash, and that would come and go, and did I really feel that? And one day, it actually happened when I was reading. There's a gentleman, Walter Lanyon. He hasn't been around for a long time, but if you ever pick up a Walter Lanyon, Lanyon book, he writes as if he's talking directly to you. It's a very personal first person written. And I was reading one of the classes I was taking had several Walter Lanyon books in them, and I had really gotten into reading Walter Lanyon. And I was reading this one book, I don't remember which one it was, and all of a sudden, it was like, you know the pictures you see in the movie where the guy's standing up, or the person's standing over there, and then it's like, whoosh, a big old thing of light comes down on him, and that's what it felt like. It was crazy cool. I've only had it happen that once, but it was real. I know it was real. And I know that if I keep practicing, it'll happen again. And it just assured me that my connection to Spirit is there. It's just waiting for me to keep connecting. So if you meditate and you're not getting the results you want, keep doing it. So we can tell ourselves the things we don't like about ourselves and worry about those, or we can tell ourselves the things that we do love about ourselves and focus on those. We can worry about what we don't have, or we can focus on what we do have. And there was a man a number of years ago. He'd been very, very happily married for many years. And his wife died suddenly. And so he didn't quite know how to handle it. So he went to a wise woman. He was heartbroken. And he went to the wise woman and said, I just don't know what to do. And I know you're very wise. Surely, there is something that you can tell me that I can do that will help me. So she sat down with him and found out what his situation was and thought about it. And she said, yes, I can help you. But the first thing you must do is you must search every home until you find a home in which they can give you a mustard seed, because theirs is a home that has never been touched by sorrow. And he thought, wow, I should be able to do that. So he gave the woman his thanks and he ran out the door. And the first house he came upon was a beautiful home. It was practically a mansion. And the grounds were lovely. And he thought, well, I'm sure these people have never experienced sorrow. Look at everything that they have. So he went up to the door, and a woman came to the door and answered, and he explained what he was looking for. And then a man walked up behind the woman inside the house, and the man heard the end of the explanation, and he said, well, I understand why you came here. It may look as if we have never experienced sorrow, but I'm afraid that's just not true. Why don't you come in for a moment? So we went inside, and the wealthy couple explained to them all the things that had happened to them in their lives, in spite of their wealth. And so he listened and sat and felt compassion for them. They cried together. They grieved together. And by the time he left, he didn't have the mustard seed that he needed, but he was feeling a little better himself. But he continued his search. And he went from multi-million-dollar palatial homes to apartment buildings to tiny houses to houses on wheels, like the one my granddaughter lives in. And he heard he heard unhappy story after unhappy story. And he listened, and he consoled, and he shared his own sad story, and he gave compassion. And after he had gone to, he lost count of the number of people that he visited looking for the home that had not experienced sorrow. And he finally realized that he no longer needed to continue that quest, nor did he need to return to the wise woman, because he had found his answer. There is no one who escapes this earthly plane without sorrow. The only difference is how we handle it. And that is why we come to unity. Because we know there will be sorrow, there will be pain, and there will be joys. In Charles Fillmore, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote a book called The 12 Powers. And in it, he said, when we awaken to the reality of our being, the light begins to break upon us from within. And we know the truth. This is the quickening of our James or judgment faculty, our wisdom faculty. When we have what we call a gut feeling, whether it's a gut feeling that says go for it, or a gut feeling that says get the heck out of here, listen. Because that is your wisdom. That is your God self giving you the guidance you need. Because guidance doesn't always come in the form of a poster or words written in a book or something said by somebody standing up at the front of a church. Guidance can come from anywhere. It can be on a billboard. It can be from the child getting off the school bus. You never know where that guidance is coming from. And it's not just listening, it's looking, it's seeing, it's feeling. In fact, the feeling part is almost the most important part. Because if you are pretty ho-hummy about something, that's probably the kind of results you're going to get. Ho-hummy results. So, we talk a lot about why we come together on Sunday morning. And we Unity East, we enjoy the fellowship with one another. We get together for not just Sunday morning, but we get together for barbecues and movies and karaoke nights and food. Lots of food. But I've found another take, and she's not here today. Ruth Ann gave me this little article about why we go to church, and I thought I'd share it with you. This is what a man who reluctantly went to church with his wife every week had to say when he wrote to the editor of a newspaper about going to church every Sunday morning. I've gone to church on Sunday for 30 years now. In that time, I've probably heard somewhere around 3,000 sermons. But here's the thing. For the life of me, I can't remember a single one of them. Seems to me I'm wasting my time, and so is the pastor. So this started a real controversy in the local newspaper. So the letter to the editor's column was, back and forth. People writing in about what they thought about this guy's comment and what they had to say about it. And this went on for quite some time until this final letter came in. I've been married for over 30 years now. In that time, my spouse has likely cooked over 30,000 meals. But here's the thing. For the life of me, I can't remember the entire menu of a single one of them. But I know this. Every one of those meals gave me strength when I needed to do my work. They gave me nourishment. Without those meals, I would definitely be physically depleted, and I might even be physically dead. Likewise, if I hadn't gone to church all those Sundays for spiritual nourishment, my spiritual life would definitely be depleted, and I might even be spiritually dead. There's wisdom in stories. There's wisdom in community. There's wisdom in gathering together to learn about ourselves and our connection with each other and with the greater presence and power that is God or whatever entity you want to call it. There's wisdom in knowing the truth that God is good all the time. There's wisdom in being able to see beyond appearances and know that regardless of what appears to be going on the surface, no matter what it is, that somewhere in there is hidden a blessing. Because there is nothing that happens in our life that cannot, with the help of that one presence and power, be turned into a blessing, something for our higher good. And it is wisdom that comes from within. When we ask, it is given. If we're unsure, all we have to do is just take a moment, pause, and in that moment, we will be given guidance. It might be in a book or a magazine, it might be in a billboard, whatever it is, we will know because we will feel the wisdom of what answer we have been given. And we can be confident that we've made the best choice possible and we move forward. So let's close this message in prayer, giving thanks for all that we've learned. And you give thanks personally for anything that has touched you personally today. Take a deep breath or two. Relax. Divine Spirit, help us to remember our powers of faith, strength, and wisdom when we leave here today. Help us to remember these are just a few of the many tools we've been given. Tools we can use every day. And we are so grateful for everything that we continue to learn and how these powers are helping us to live happier, more filled, and more prosperous lives. And we close this prayer by saying together the Lord's Prayer, just as our way shower Jesus the Christ taught us. As you might have noticed, we've gotten some repair work done on the outside, and the roof repair had a few little things that needed to be corrected, and that's going to be done real soon. And everything is just coming together so beautifully. I love the way the foyer looks now. I'm so excited about everything that's taking place here. We're doing so much and growing, and every one of you is just such a significant part of what's going on here at Unity East. And we're so grateful for each and every one of you. So let's show our gratitude by taking our gifts in our hands and saying together our blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyfully and easily, for the universe is my source, and abundance is my nature.
What you've got to do is finish what you have begun. I don't know just how, but it's not over till you've won. When you see the storm is coming, see the lightning part the skies, it's too late to run, there's terror in your eyes. What you do then is remember the something you heard me say. It's the storm, not you, that's bound to blow away. Hold on to someone standing by. Hold on, don't even ask how long or why. Child, hold on to what you know is true. Hold on to get through. Child, oh child, hold on. When you feel your heart is pounding, there are devils at your door. There's no place to hide, you're frozen to the floor. What you do then is you force yourself to wake up and you say, it's this dream, not me, that's bound to grow away. Hold on, the night will soon be by. Hold on, until there's nothing left to try. Child, hold on, there's angels on their way. Hold on and hear them say, child,
join us for fellowship, and we'll close with our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us.